Hello again. My name is Klein Diakun. I'm a Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador for ATU, one of them. I'm co-hosting this event with a friend of mine who's also an Alpha Student Ambassador, Ernest Aqua. So this event is all about how to help you guys know about some uses or some various uses of the Microsoft Excel application. We know that the Microsoft Excel application is mainly we see it to be used as class assessments or an application used to keep scores of students in schools. Yeah. But in this event, we will delve deeper into that to find out how it can also help us when we are trying to present on some projects or even the class assessment or class scores that we see, how we can use them or how we can interpret them into visualizations for people to see and people to understand what we are trying to show them. So before we start, we're going to use something called pivot tables in the Microsoft Excel. So first of all, what are pivot tables? We know of tables in Excel. We know that the tables help us. That's where we arrange the numbers and the names of the students who have their numbers. So, excuse me, if we are going to talk about what pivot tables are, you know that pivot tables, they are mainly used to interpret a large amount of data, just like the class course that we are using now. If we have a class that has about, let's say, 100 students, if you are using those 100 students, you want to know the marks that they've gotten in various subjects. Using the table will probably prove very difficult because you have to just scroll down and scroll left and right to see if this person has this marks in English or what have you. But when you use the pivot tables, you can just filter out that selection and then it will show you the correct marks that one student has had in English or one student has had in maths, or even those 100 students that we are talking about to get to know the marks they have in each subject respectively without us having to scroll left or right. It would just be a waste of time. So so in this event, you are going to learn how to use that pivot table to do more than just accumulating marks, but we also learn how to use them to create beautiful charts, beautiful and very simple charts that can help us interpret the data that we've been given. So I hope you can see my screen here. If you can see, you can give a thumbs up or you can let me know in the chat. Put in the chat that you can see the screen. Thank you. So in this screen here, we can see if we would say a large amount of data. In this data, we've seen employee ID. We can see full name. We can see job title, department, business unit, gender, ethnicity, age, month, monthly salary, annual salary, bonus percentage. You can see region, you can see state, you can see city. If we've been given this large amount of data, if we can see this large amount of data, we will be able to know how to interpret them whilst we are going on. We've talked about pivot tables already, so we are going to use them or we are going to apply what we've talked about. First of all, as we've seen this data, it doesn't look like a table yet. So how do we make it look like a table? It's very simple actually. But before we go on, if you want to go along with me, or in case you don't get lost, I'm going to drop the Excel file we are going to use. Just a minute. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now so that you can follow along with me, and then you won't get lost. I hope you can see. I've just dropped it in the chat right now. I don't know if you can see it. So it seems the one, it seems what I dropped before, it's restricted. So I'll just change the settings and then drop it again so that everyone can have access to it. So you can open the file now, and then you can follow along with me so that you don't get lost, or you you can be able to understand what I'm trying to do. So you can open the Excel file I've just sent into the chat, the most recent one. Seems like the other two, they weren't really, there are some restrictions on it, but seems the one I've dropped now is working well. So you can use it, you can open it, and then can follow along with me. Okay. So as you've seen here, we can tell that this isn't actually a table. So how can we then make it a table? It's very simple actually. You can click within anywhere in this sheet. You go to insert, and then click on table. So as we've seen that there's a highlight over here. It has automatically detected the data we want to use, which is very simple in Excel. You don't even have to select the whole data. It just tells us, or it lets us know that there's a data we want to do. In case it's not the data we want to choose, you can also edit it, like change the cell references here. But you know this is what we want to use. So our table has headers. The headers are the full name, the job title, the department, business unit. Those are headers. So it has already been checked here, and we have headers indeed. So just click on OK to get our table. So now we have our table here very beautifully. It's our table. We can use this to just interpret the data. If we've been given this, we are in a company and we've been given this data to interpret, you can't just send this table to the manager and tell him we are done. That's not how the job works. So how can we then interpret this data to get our dashboard? Or after we finish doing the table, just as we have done, we talked about the pivot tables. Now we are going to use them. So how are we then going to use the pivot tables? So it's very simple actually. Just as we selected the table now, we can go to summarize with pivot table. It's just up here. If you don't have it, we can go to insert. There's also pivot table here, but the best is to use the table design and go there, summarize with pivot table. So you see, it has already highlighted the table we want already. We don't have, there's no much stress here. And in order for it to be organizable or to be neat, you have to put it in a new worksheet, because we've seen that here there's already a table here. If we add the pivot table here, it won't actually be very nice. It will just be clutter and we won't be able to see our data very well. So we just put it in a new worksheet. We'll click OK. Now we have our worksheet here, and we've seen that these are the table headers from the table we have here in the data section. See the job title, department, business unit. See that we have headers here. So each header is containing that column of the table that we've sent here. For the work to be very nice or to be organized, let's rename our sheet and let's name it pivot tables. Show that this sheet is only for the pivot tables we are going to use to create the dashboard. And press enter. Now first, we know that this is the Starbucks employee annual report data that we've been given. So the way we are going to create our dashboard, I'm just going to give you a preview of how we want the dashboard to be. So this is how we want our dashboard to be. This is a bird's eye view of how we want the dashboard to be. Very nice and very organized. That's how we want it to be. So we will say this is a stepping stone to what we want ours to be. So we are going to create ours and we are going to take this step by step. Now let's start with creating our dashboard. So we'll go back to our data worksheet. And then we'll go back to the pivot tables. Dashboard that first we are going to need the annual salary, the total annual salary. So how the pivot table works is that we take one of these and we drag to whichever field we want below here. So we want our total annual salary. So I know that we are going to choose the annual salary header here. We just click and you drag to the values field here. And I'm seeing that the sum of annual salary is here. We know that sum of annual salary, a salary should be in cedis, right? Or in dollars, however we want it. So there are two ways to do this. You can go here, click on it, and then you see format as dollars, euros, or other currency. You can click on it and then you can use that. Or you can go to this drop down arrow right here, click on it, you see value field settings. We click on value field settings, then we go to number format. Click on number format and then we see currency. We click on currency and then you see it has a sample here of what, or a preview of how the number will look like. So you've seen the view here, and it actually looks very good, so we'll go with it. But then most of the times, if we are using the decimals, it kind of makes the work look too much. So that's my preference. If you want to use the decimals, you can use them too. There's no harm in that. But I'll remove that by clicking on this down arrow twice to remove the decimal places there. So it looks good in the sample, so we click OK, and then we click OK again. Now we have a change to this. Now, when we go back to so now when we go back to, let's move just a moment. See if there's a problem. When we look at our finished dashboard, we see we have the total annual salary here, which we've already done. Then we have to do the total monthly sales, and then next we go to the total bonus, and next we go to the total number of employees. So as we've taken care of the annual salary already, go back to the total monthly sales, then go to the total bonus, and then the number of employees. So let's do that real quick, and then we can move on. So we've already done the sum of annual salary. So we'll go back. Let's take the total bonus first. Click that just like we did for the annual salary. Click and then drag it and add it here. We know that the sum of or the total bonus is 79.76%, because there's already a percentage here. That's why there's no percentage inside. Good. Then next we go to the total number of employees. For that, we can choose to use the full name, sorry, and drag it here and get the total number of employees. Or we can also use the employee ID, drag it here, still the total number of employees. So we can just, let's just use the full name here for now. Then just change this, double click to change the custom name. That is the name of the header. So you can use that and change it and use total, total number of employees. All right. And here can change it to be total bonus percentage. And then here you can also change it directly from here. From the formula bar, can also change the title. Use total annual salary right here. Very good. So we've done this. There's one last thing to do. That is the age. So can put this here. And it's giving us the sum of age. But then we know that we are looking for the average age. So what do we do now? Correct. So we can go down just like we did for the total annual salary. We change the number into a currency. We can change this sum of age into average. So you go to the value field settings again. This time we don't have to go to number format. Can go to average right here, and then we click on OK. Gives us the average of the age, which is 44. Now 44.445, it seems like a bit too much. Just want the average. So you can go to number format here, and then you can actually just come back here. If we look at, sorry, if you look above here in the number box here, you can see that there's these two 000 here. If we go close to it, we see that there's increased decimal and then there's decreased decimal. In this case, we want to decrease the decimal to get a specific age. So we can click here 1, 2, 3, then we have our average age, or the average of the age of the employees that we have. That's the total number of the employees. Now, after we've done this, we want to continue, and then we want to build the dashboard. Don't get me wrong, we've already started, but this isn't really a chart. We want to create charts, and then charts are created using the pivot tables, of course. So we are going to create another chart, or we are going to create another pivot table that can help us create a chart or an actual chart. So first we'll go back, and then let me share my screen so that I won't just be going back and forth, time after time. So right here we've seen that this is what we want it to be. We've done the total annual salary, total bonus, total number of employees. It seems we forgot about the total monthly sales. We'll take care of that in a moment. So first, we've seen that our first chart here is the monthly sales. So we are going to take care of the monthly sales. And then after that, we'll go to the sales by department, and we'll go sales by business unit. So we'll take it one at a time. So let's go back to our data worksheet. So we've seen that with this, we need the total monthly sales. So right here, click on this to open the pivot fields again, and then there's the monthly sales. We don't need the age anymore. Put that and just remove field, and then it's gone away, and we put the monthly sales down here too. So here you've seen the monthly sales. It's also in decimals. We don't need decimals. We can just click into here for it to open the value field straight for us. And then we can change the title to total monthly sales. Total monthly sales. Now we can go to the number format because we want it to be a currency, just like we did for the annual salary. Just remove the decimal places, click enter, and then click on OK. Now we have our total monthly sales. So we want to create a dashboard. So we want to create a pivot table for the monthly sales, like we've seen in our finished dashboard here. Want to create a monthly sales just like this. So when we create, we see it uses the years and months and then the sum of monthly sales. So that's what we are also going to do. I'm just going to follow through right here, and then we have to go back in order to create another pivot table. Go back, table, design, go to summarize the pivot table. And then if we click on a new worksheet, we don't want our work to be a bit too much. just want it to be at one place. We want the pivot tables to be at one place. So we'll click on new worksheet again. We will click on the existing worksheet, and you see it gives us it's looking for the location. So you can go down here on pivot tables, click on it, and then we can click here. We want our pivot table to be somewhere here. Then you just click on OK. Now we have our pivot table here, and we are going to look for the monthly sales. So we can put the monthly sales here as a value, and then we are looking for the time period, right? So we go on month, drop month here on the rules column. Now we're seeing that we have years, quarters, and months. We've known from the charts that we just saw that there are no quarters in it. You don't need the quarters. You just need the years and the months. So you can just do this and the quarters is gone. Now we have the years and the months. Now it's like this. We don't really want it like this. So we right click, you go to group, and then we've seen that the quarters is still highlighted here. So it means even if you drag it out, it's still here. So you have to go here and manually deselect it here. And then you click on OK. Now this is how we want it to be. But we are still not done because the sales is obviously supposed to be in currency. So we can right click here, go to value field settings, go to number formats, go to currency again. We don't want the decimals. So we just click down here and then it's gone. Click OK again. And now we've successfully
Hello, client. Hello, client. Please have muted yourself. So kindly unmute. Client.
oh sorry for that. Sorry for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Please can you hear me now?
yeah, yeah. Yes, I can hear
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. So we we are now trying to we've already done one pivot table, we've already done a pivot table for this, done another one for this. Now I want to do sales by department. I want to create another pivot table. So just like we did for this, we've come here to the same worksheet as for the pivot tables. And then we'll click OK to set, sorry, seems that's about it. Just do it again. Put it somewhere here and OK. Now pivot table is there. So just as we've seen in the chart, we're going to filter by month, place it here, and we are going to use the monthly sales as values right here. And then we are going to do sales by department. So obviously we are going to need the data for the department in the rows column. So we are going to drag that and drop it here. So as you've seen, very simple, very nice. You know that we have to change this numbers into currency because we are dealing with sales once more. So we just go back, done this. Number format, currency, decimal places, 0. Okay, now we've done that, very neat. In case we don't want this grand total, we can just remove it from there but in our case, we are going to use it anyway. It doesn't hurt if we use it, so we are just going to use it anyway. Go back to our dashboard. Now we've seen that we need sales by business unit. That's very simple. We just need the business unit data and the monthly sales data. We'll deal with the map of sales last because it's a bit complex. So we leave that for last. So now we move on to the sales by business units. And as we've done countless times now, we know how we are going to input another pivot table here. Go to the data inside table design, summarize the pivot table. Existing worksheet. And I'll go back to pivot tables. Let's put it somewhere down here. Okay, I'll pivot over here. Now, see that we want the sales by business unit to drag business unit into the rows column here. So that'll be very easy for us. And then we will need the monthly sales as values here. Now we want to change this as currency again. Right click, value field settings, number formats, currency, decimal places, enter, and then click on OK. Now we have our sales by business unit. So we're almost done. We're almost done. We are left with the map of sales. So for that, we go back again and see what that also needs. Go back. When you click on it, you see that that's why we are saying this is a bit complex. We've clicked, but you've seen it doesn't open a pivot fields for us. We'll get to know why very soon. But for now, we'll click on this, right click, and go to select data so that you can see the data that it used. So when we go here, see that it uses the monthly sales by month. So that's what we are going to also use. For the map of sales, we take it a bit slow because it's very complex. If you don't take care, you really get lost. So create another pivot table again. Summarize with pivot table. Go here. Let's open your worksheet, pivot tables. Now it is somewhere there. It's good. Click on OK. Now we want monthly sales. Or we want the sales by country. Yes. Or state. Yeah, state. So here we have state, we have city, and we have region. But for here, we are going to just use the states for that, so that using the map would be easier for us. So we go to state, we put that as rows. Then we are going to use monthly sales in the values like we've already done. Now we are going to change the monthly sales to currency. Field settings, bar format, currency, then OK, and then OK. Now once you want to create the map, but the problem is that creating the map, you can't use a pivot table to create that map. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to remove this data and bring it here for it to be raw, or like yeah, we can say it in some sense for it to be raw. How do we do that? We have to put this cell reference right here. How do we put that cell reference there? Put in equal to sign. You click on this, you press enter. Now we are referencing this cell to this cell right here. We want to reference this cell to it beside it. How are we going to do that? Don't need to press equal to sign again. You've seen that there's a little square box here. And when we get closer to it, our cursor turns to a plus. So we click and drag this plus to the other side. Leave it. And we see that it's giving us the same value that's here. The only reason of it being is that it's actually not, we've not formatted it here because it's only in the pivot table. So if you bring it outside, it's gone back to the old formatting that it was. That's it's gone back to the numbers. There's no longer a currency. So we want to use these data here. Are we going to do this one by one? No, it will just waste time. What we are going to do is we click and then we drag here for it to be selected like this too. And then we press shift. We hold down shift and then we click on the down arrow on our keyboard. Click down to reach the bottom of the data. For this, we are just going to omit the grand total for now. Leave it here. Press enter. Sorry, seems we click and drag, and then we come to this like we did for the other one, the black cursor. Click, then we drag downwards to reach the end of the data. We leave it, and then we see that what is here is actually here. Very easy. Easier than just clicking equal to sign and then you're just going to waste time. So now what do we want again? We want to change this to currency so that when we are using the map, it will be very easy for us. We won't be really tired. So we just shift down arrow to the left, then click on currency. Yeah, it's like it's a bit jumbled here. We have it. Now we are going to create a map with this data. But then after we create that map, we are going to reference that map to this pivot table because we want to use pivot table. That's what is going to make our dashboard very interesting and interactive. So first, we just select like we did again. And then where do we go when we want to input the map? Go to insert, go to maps, then go to field map. Click inside. Now we have our map here. The map uses internet or data. So if you don't have internet, you might not be able to view the map like we've done here. So we just put the map here. Yeah, just put the map here. Now we want to reference the map to this. We want to reference the map to the pivot table. How do we do that? We right click on the map before we did that. Click on select data. And you see it has highlighted the data that we used. But we don't want to use this. We want to use the one in the pivot table. What do we do? You've seen that there's a cell reference here, J25. There's J here. So it uses this. If we want to reference this, what do we see here? D. So we can change the G to a D. And then we see H here. There's H here. We want to use this pivot table. So you use the cell reference E. And we just press OK. Now we have our map here referencing the pivot table. So at this point, we are actually done. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this data here anymore. So you can just delete it. Don't need it anymore. Now, at this point, I'd like to ask if there's any question that you'd like to ask. If there's any question. If you have a question, you can just raise your hand so that we can see. Sorry, Derek said he has bad network. Sorry. So everyone understands what you've done so far. Everyone understands. Okay, then we just, it seems everyone understands. So at this point, we leave the creating of the charts to my co-host Ernest Apa. He's going to take care of that. Hello, Ernest.
Hi, Klein. All right.
Yes,
Thank you very
please, can
much.
you take us through creating content? You're welcome.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you for your nice presentation. Um, I'll be taking you through the how to create a dashboard. So I'll be using clients data set that he has worked with. But before that, you have to get a little understanding on what a dashboard means. So in Excel, most of the times what we use a dashboard for is that we try it's used to summarize the key metrics that we are monitoring, and also we give it to businesses and also to our employers on how to make decisions. So I won't waste my time. I will jump into how to create a dashboard. By sake of time, for the sake of time, I will try to do some small visuals. I wouldn't be able to complete all because of the time. Then we will take questions. So let's jump straight into creating our dashboard. So I'll start with the first one, which I will try and create a dashboard for monthly sales. So this is how we create a dashboard. You go to the pivots table that you have created, then you go to the pivot table that you have created, then you click on it. You click on it. Sorry, please, a minute. All right, so I'm back. So you will click on it, then you click on it. You click on it, then you move to insert, or you can just highlight them. Then you go to insert, then go to pivot table. We have ones that Microsoft have already recommended. So you go to charts. So you go to pivot charts. We have ones that Microsoft have already recommended. So you don't click that one. You click on the desired one that we want, because per what you are doing, our dashboard should look something. Our dashboard should look something similar to what was first introduced to us by a client. So we try to follow what client showed us. So we'll be using a clustered column for our first chart for the monthly sales. So we choose. All right, so we choose. Then we come to OK. Then what next we are going to do is that we try to take away certain things which is not needed, and also to make our visual very presentable to an organization or whatever we are trying to use, either our research or something like that. So we have certain options here, which we click on that plus to remove certain things that we don't need in the visuals. So the first thing we might remove is the grid lines. We take away the grid lines. Sorry, we take away the grid lines. Then also we try to remove the chart title. Then later on we write what we wanted over there. So we remove it from there. Then we also remove the legend. Then we try to remove the grid lines again. All right. Okay. So this look a little bit okay. Then remove and we also show a little bit of visuals that maybe it might be a little bit okay for us. So we go down and look at visuals that we find it's very cumbersome for those who might be using our data. So we have different forms of clustered bar this chart. So maybe we might take this one for good visuals. Then we use this, but please take note for the price. You see the price have become a little bit clumsy. So what we do is that we try to change our charts because it's very difficult for us to view. So these are some of the things that we should take into consideration whenever we are creating a dashboard. So what we do is that we go back and try to change the dashboard which we have created. Please, a minute. Sorry. Okay. So we try to change the visual that we have because of the salary, the sales over there. The sales of the monthly sales is too clumsy. So we try to find a nice visual for that one, which it's a little bit easier. So we try to go back. Sorry. Sorry. So we try to change this one, but since I'm using clients Excel, we try to continue because until he deletes the chats, until he deletes the visuals, I'll not be able to do anything to this one. So we try to maintain this and go back to our plus sign and try to name it. So we come to the chat title. So our chat title, which we give it monthly sales. Then that's fine. Then sorry. Right. Then we try to give. Yes, so we do this, then we are done with our first visual. So what we do is that we want it to go to another sheet so that we'll be able to also create another visual as client was using the pivot chart to model the data that we had. So we try to send it to a different sheet. So what we do is that we move this chart to a different sheet. We just right click, move. So you choose the sheet that you want. If you want a new sheet, you just choose, then press OK, then that will be fine. So it will move to a new sheet. Then now you have it this way. So what you are going to do is that we try to resize it to a nice shape so that our visuals, we can also add it to it. So we are trying to resize it. For the sake of time, I'll do a last visual. Then once we understand the concept, the possibilities are endless. So I try to do this one, then the rest maybe I'll leave it for client to sign out. So if there is any question, you can also ask. So whilst I'm resizing, it will take some time, a little bit of time to resize it. You'll be fine. So I like to move back to our pivot table and also do the last visual. Then I give client I give the rest to client to just wrap it up for us, because we are almost done. So our next visual we want to create, we want to create sales by department. So we go to our department, then we go to the pivot chart that has sales by department. Oh, sorry. Sorry, please. So yes. Please, just a minute. All right. So okay, we move to the sales by department and we try to make a nice visual for them too as well. So what we do for the sales by department, we try to for that one too. Oh, sorry, it seems that this one is a little bit late. So what we do is we try to go. Hi. Hello.
NS.
Yeah.
NS.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, let me take
Hello.
it over from here. Let me take it over from here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you very much. So
Oh,
we want to build a dashboard like you've seen here, and we are going to start. We've already done first bit of it. That's the map of the sales. But then let's start with the first here: the total announced salary, the total months, the total bonus, and then the total number of employees, which we've already done here. We've done right here. So you are just going to copy the headers, right? Just copy the headers. Control C, and then we go to our dashboard. Then just input it here. Control V. Sorry, and we just paste it anyway. Just just put it here. See if it says to add another base cell to it. Very good. Now we want to add the value we've seen here. This value here, we want to add it here. We can't just input it manually because we are going to use pivot tables, or we are going to use something called slices to help us navigate through very well. So we just put the equal to sign here. We go to our pivot tables. You see references it here. You just click on this. This is what you need. You press enter, and then automatically, sorry, seems seems coming. Very good. So now it's here. It mostly gives us that hash sign because it doesn't fit into that box. So when it does that, we just have to add another cell to it so that it fits in. Now we've done the total annual salary. Now we'll go to the total bonus. We might not do it in the same order as you've seen there in our dashboard, but just because we are ahead of time, just want to make this very quick. So yeah, put into the formula box, enter. Just like we did for this reference, go to pivot tables, click on this, enter, and it's in there very perfectly. We go here again. We need what the total number of employees. So just, or we can even omit the total, just do its number of employees, copy, goes to dashboard. Here, inside, very nice. Here, equal to go to pivot tables, go to reference, equal to, we are there. Very nice. Now we're going to do the last one. Pivot tables, we are looking for the total monthly sales. Now we can just omit, but this one we choose to add the total monthly sales. Just so that it's something that I can explain very well. So good, very nice. Now equal to sign to reference. Go, enter. It's there, perfect. Now we are done with the top row. We'll come down. The first chart we are going to create is this, the sales by month. How do we create this chart? Sorry. Let me click well. Yes, inside, just like my colleague Ernest showed us. Just go here, pivot charts. Now we are going to use the clustered column. You can choose to use this to the stacked column. It can also make it easier. So we just go to stacked column, click on OK, it's here. Now these things here, they are called fields, or as you can say, field buttons. So we want to remove these things because these things don't actually need, seeing that we are going to be using something called slices. So we are just going to hide them all so that it's be a bit spacious. And then we see that these bars are a bit too thin. We want them to be a bit spacious. Just go to format data point. We want to use them all at once. We go back here, go to the gap width. You see that it's 150. We want it to be 50, or we can even change it to 45 for it to be more spacious. Now this is how we like it. This total here, we don't want to see it, so we go to this plus sign and then remove the legend. Now these lines, we don't want to see them. These grid lines, just remove them. Be spacious. Now we are going to use that, but first we will change the title to, we're going to do it sales by month. Perfect. Now the color of the text seems a bit dim. You can go to home here. This is how we change the text, then make it blacker, a bit black, and it's here just like that. So how do we move that to the next sheet, that's the dashboard sheet. We Control X to cut it. Then move to the dashboard sheet. Then Control V. For now, let's just put the charts inside. We just put them anyhow, like we'll arrange them later. Now we go to sum of monthly sales. This is supposed to be the sales by department. So for that too, we go to pivot table analyze, go to pivot charts. For this one, we are going to use the bar chart. The bar chart. So just click on OK, just like we did for the rest. These gap widths, they are too, let's see, 182, too much. Put them 45. That's good. Now we move the field buttons to, just like we did here, hide all. Now we don't want the legend, this total, I don't see there. Good. Change the title to sales by department. Sorry, sales by department. Very good. That's how we like it. Now we just change the color. Black. Done. Control X. See somewhere here, Control V. Sales by department is there. Go back to the pivot tables. Now this is the sales by business unit. Yes. So this just opens that table for us to see. We don't really need to do this now. Yeah. We really need to do this. Sorry. So this is sales by business unit. I'm going to create another diagram for it. I'll go to pivot table analyze, pivot charts. See, it gives us another clustered column. We use that too. Wanted to use a reader, but then we just use this for now. Okay. Go back to the grid lines with the legend. Chart title. Seeing that it's small, we don't have to go back to the gap width because this is already big, and that's how we just like it. So sales by business unit. Sorry. Sales by business unit. That's how I like it. Change the text color to black. Remove the value fields or the field buttons. Hide all. Correct. We have our sales by business unit. Control X. Go to the dashboard. Paste it somewhere down here. Control V. Now we are about done because we already have map here already. I created a map already here. So we just come here. Control X. Move to the dashboard. Let's zoom out a bit. Put the map somewhere here. Control V. Sorry, Control V. All right, now the map is here. Now we are going to arrange it so that we get our dashboard. Not maybe it won't actually be the way we wanted it, but yeah, it's actually just for now. I'm just organizing the dashboard so that it won't be make it look like it was in the original one. It won't be exactly like it was, but somehow, yeah. Just put this down here. This a bit here. We are going to insert something we call a timeline. Now that timeline is for easy navigation, where we have data that uses dates like this sales by month here. That's why I explained that in the beginning we had some charts that were filtered by month. That's why we were using those charts there. Just come here. We can use the arrow keys on our keyboard to also arrange them very nicely. Can stretch this one down so that for easy identification. Push this one a bit to the side so that yeah, very nice. Now we are going to insert the timeline. How do we set the timeline? move to pivot chart analyze, click on insert timeline. Now we've seen that the timeline even recognizes that the chart that we need to insert the timeline for is the month, and that's what we've selected right now. So we just click on OK. Now it's displayed here very beautifully for us. If we want to edit this timeline, we just go down here, create our own timeline. That's a custom timeline. We can use this this timeline. We can say sales period. For easy navigation, we can use the sales period. Then yeah, for now we just leave it at that. Yeah, just leave it at that. And just move this here a bit, move this here a bit, drag it a bit. We have timeline. So you can see we are dealing with 2 years of data. We are dealing with 2016, we are dealing with 2017. So depending on where you click, if you want July, this changes to July. July, we had about if you drag it in here, it shows you $7,660 generated in July. So this helps you just filter through the dates. If you want to select more than 2 dates, you hold the shift button, you click, it moves you through sales of 3 months throughout 3 months the period. In which month did the sales become more, which month the sales become less. This helps us to see that. So you want to remove these filters, just click on this funnel button right here that says clear filter. Just do that and everything is back to normal. Now our chart or our dashboard is almost complete. We just need to add something we call a slicer for it to be interactive. Yes, so we are just going to do that in just a bit. Just click on this and then we are going to pivot chart analyze. Now we've seen insert slicer. Now it's giving us a slicer for each and every heading we have here, or each and every table heading we have here. But we are going to, what are we going to do here? We are just going to choose the ones that we need or the ones that we want. Actually, we just, that's for here, just go back to this place. And we can also insert slicer with right clicking on this. And then we go back to, oh, it seems that option is not here. It's not here. So then we just go here, set slicer, and then we can choose state, city. Let's say, okay, we can choose the region to, can choose the month. Yes, very correct. Then we choose department, choose the business unit too. So we are going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slices here. We're going to just position them and then we are going to see how we are going to use them to add maximum efficiency. So we can put the department here. Put the department here. Open it a bit. Can put business here. Okay, let's bring business here for a bit. Can put month here. So most often the month should be beside the charts where we use the month, or we use, it has the data of a month the most. So when we drag down here, you see that there's one dates here that are faded out. It means in that period there wasn't any data recorded. That's why that's faded out right here. Now we can move. Let's go to the other side. Let's go to the other side. And we can put city here. Can put business units right under city. Okay, no, we want to arrange it very accordingly, very nice. So you put region underneath city. You put the state underneath that. Yes, so that will be very orderly. Very good. Now you can use the arrow buttons, like I said before, to move things for them to be very easy. So here we can navigate back. Now we've seen we are left with the business units, so we can put that under the month. Yeah. it's another month, and just drag down a bit. If you don't want it to be like this, maybe you want columns in our slicer, we have columns here. Just click on this and it gives us 2 columns. That's easier to identify, or it takes less space. So you just drag up a bit, then just, oh sorry, this, and bring it down here for it to be underneath, right underneath the chart here. Then when we click on, sorry, click on this, and I click on this slicer to drag it out a bit so that it takes up that space that's left behind. Right. Now we are almost done. Really almost done. All we need is to connect the slices to the rest of the pivot tables. Now, how do we do this? We know that we use the sales by business unit to input the slices. That's why when you click on this, it's only affecting the sales by business unit. It's not affecting the other charts. See, the sales by business unit, the only one changing right here. The only one changing, we go to October, it changes. But we want to make all these charts change, like the way sales by business unit is changed. How do we do that? We just right click on the slicer, we go to report connections. Reporting connections means we are connecting this slicer to every pivot table that we've created so far. We know that the charts, we created them using the pivot tables. So if we are connecting them to pivot tables, automatically it's going to be connected to the charts. So just click OK. We do this for every slicer. Post connections. Select every pivot table. And as I'm doing this, if you have any questions, you can please put them in the chats. After I'm done, I can look at them, and then we'll address any issues you might have, or any things you don't understand. We can just address them very quickly, and then we just end it there. Thank you. So I'm almost done. Almost done with the slices. Almost done. Port connections. And just add this in. And just click on OK. The last one. Put connections. Yes. Do this. Click on OK. It's connected here. The last one is the business units down here. Post connections. Here. Last one. Click on flip. Now all our slices are connected to every chart on the dashboard. All our slices are connected to every. If we change the city, it means if we see that this map hasn't changed, then it means in that city there wasn't any data. Let's change it. In this city too, there wasn't any data. Let's change it. No data. Very good. So how do we see data in some cities or in some regions? See, in the West region, that's where you've seen, even if you can't see it very clearly, when you put your mouse cursor on it, on a portion of the city, it just points out California. That's where you are pointing to, and then it shows you the value, or then the currency they've used, or the number of the amount of money they generated in that period. That's 77,395. So you can change the region to Midwest. See the map changes like that. Can change the state. Michigan, there's no money there. There's no money there. So can change the region to Southwest again. It changes. That's where there's money there. Yes. So when there's no money there, that way they are poor. So you might not see any money there, but in some sites there's money. Yeah. Now you see that when I press, the other charts also change. It's not only the map, the other charts also change. That's what we are trying to make you see here. That every chart is connected. Every chart in this month, April, February, there's money here. You can see Texas, they have 40,604. So now that we've seen this, now we want to make it like you've seen that we successfully created our dashboard. Now we want to make it look nice. You can't just leave it like this. We want to match the color theme of the company. For example, we are using Starbucks right now, and then we can see that Starbucks, their color isn't blue. When you go to their company, you can see that it's green. That's why here there's the top here is green. How do we change these blue things to green? You can just do here, and then you go back to this place, format slicer, but we are not really using slicers here. You can just and just click the whole thing. Then we go on this fill, solid fill, and change it here, the color here. You can do this deep green. It's very nice. You can change this. You can change this slicer here, but that will just take time. So we just do what we can. And then here, you can also put the same color here. Seems that this green is too bright, but we'll manage it for now. Change this color here. That you can also change the color of the slices. You can go here and then you can select this to match it. Go here, select this to match it. Business unit is trying to hide. I will find it. Business unit here. You can change it here. Go to the slices at the other side. State and city. Go here. Then change it here. Go here. Change it. Go here. Then change it. So this is just a sample of a dashboard. Very neat, very nice. If we click on this, we notice that this side also changes. This side also changes. They are all connected. So that's the power of Excel. It's more than just collecting data for classes and then giving them A, B, or C, or giving them some percentages. This is how Excel really is. So yeah, we'll end it here for now. Next time probably just can do more than this. So yeah, I think we'll end it here now. If there are any questions you can ask, understand anything, you can ask. I think yeah, we'll end it here for now. Thank each and everyone for joining us. Thank each and everyone for being patient and going through the time with us. We spent more than we bargained for, but thank you everyone for joining. We'll end it here. So yeah, we'll meet again. Hopefully we'll dive deeper into this and then we can see how we can use dashboards very well. Thank you.